This is the S23 Ultra, and the video that you're seeing right now is video from my $5,000 camera setup. How does the S23 Ultra compare, or can it even compare when it comes to taking photos? I'm going to do a couple of different tests using my studio lighting, and we are also going to take an outside shot and see how they compare. I also quickly test out the 200 megapixel function for the S23 Ultra, and the results are kind of shocking, so make sure you stay tuned for that too. All right, and without any further ado, let's get into it. All right, now for an outside shot. Now, first glance, obviously the R6 is at 50 millimeters. It's gonna be more of a tight shot when the S23 Ultra is more of a wide shot. So keep that in mind, but just looking at, the overall image, the S23 Ultra does a really good job of exposing everything. Colors are a little bit saturated, like all of this green right here. It's very green. I definitely think it enhances the green a little bit, but if you wanted to turn that off, I'm sure you could go in and turn the photo optimization off, or the scene optimizer, whatever it's called. Yeah, not much to say when it comes to this. So if we zoom in on the window, yeah, you can definitely see right here where there is more amount of detail on the R6 than there is on the S23 Ultra. So like right here and right here, yeah, you can see way more detail on the R6, which is to be expected. There's definitely more detail on the R6. You can see over here, it looks like it's trying to over sharpen. It just looks really, really crunchy. Yeah, you zoom in, you're gonna find some stuff, but overall, really good exposure. Colors look good, a little bit oversaturated, but still good. Yeah, S23 Ultra did really good. All right, so zooming in here on the deck of cards, you can definitely see the S23 Ultra did really good. If you look closely, there is a little bit more detail in the deck. If you zoom in, again, they're both really close. This is what photographers call pixel peeping, because you have to look really close to find a difference. And again, this is just the first test. A little bit of a slight advantage over here in my opinion in the color. I won't spend too much longer on this. Of course, the background on the R6 is always going to have that separation. It's always going to be that very blurry, creamy layer. And the S23 Ultra unfortunately does not have that in this picture. All right, so this picture right here, again, S23 Ultra over here, R6 over here, settings over here, roughly the same settings for both cameras. All right, so first looking at the S23 Ultra, it looks really good. You can see that the deck is a lot more dull looking than the R6, and you can see that the background of course is blurred. You have that really nice separation from the deck and the background. If we zoom in a little bit here onto the skull, let me just get zoomed in. We can see again there's slightly more detail in the R6 of course, but nothing you could really ever tell from a distance. Yeah, it's again just a little bit sharper on the R6. Not a bunch at all. In my opinion, the main thing that you're gonna get with a professional camera is that background separation, and you will gain again some sharpness, but overall the S23 Ultra actually did blur the background a little bit here. Yeah, not too bad. Again, it's obviously not going to be able to blur it as much as the R6, but I'm happy with that. Now this image right here is the 200 megapixel image. Now I took this image because I just wanted to do a quick test, because 200 megapixels obviously you're going to have a little bit more detail, and the results are kind of shocking. So if we zoom in here on the skull, once again, we have the R6 over here on the right. And if we zoom in over here, you can see there's not much difference from the last picture. I'm not sure if this is somehow how I have exported it and imported it and got it into Lightroom, if it lost some quality, but this is not that much different from the regular S23 Ultra image. Again, this is the R6 over here, still has more detail all around. You can see the dust right here coming up. Right here it's just blurry. If I put the other S23 Ultra image over here and whoops, that's not the right one. So if I put the regular S23 Ultra image over here and the 200 megapixel image on the left, you can see there's not a lot of difference. Now again, I'm not sure. There is a little bit of difference. There definitely is. You can see some more detail. I don't even know if that's detail or if it's just I don't know, pixels. If we look up here at the cracks, the 200 megapixel arguably looks worse than the regular image. So I'm not sure what's going on with the 200 megapixel image, but yeah, we might have to do some more tests. Maybe another video incoming on 200 megapixel for the S23 Ultra. All right, so now for a fun one. This is a dark scenario, and anytime you're in a dark scenario, a camera is going to have to introduce grain in order to light the image up. And as you can see, when I say grain, I'm talking about all of this. This is grain. Now, if you look over here on the R6, scroll way over here, you can see on the background on the table, this is the table, there's not near as much. There still is a little bit, but it's very much finer. There is a little bit of smoothness to the R6 compared to the S23 Ultra. So yeah, definitely more grain on the S23 Ultra. As far as detail goes, I think the S23 Ultra struggled a little bit. If we zoom in down here on the word playing, you can see the S23 Ultra again did really good when it comes to detail. Yeah, really impressive. From a first look perspective, both of these are really good. Obviously there's more grain in the S23 Ultra, but you're not going to be able to tell without looking. But again, what you get with the R6 is that kind of professional photo look with that separation and the creamy background and the super sharp subject. It's just not something that the S23 Ultra is able to replicate in just any scenario. You really have to have the conditions right in order to make the S23 Ultra look like a professional camera. All right, and this photo right here, we are going to really see where the R6 really shines. So if we zoom in right here, and if we zoom in a little bit further, on the S23 Ultra, you can really see you can really see the amount of detail that is lost when doing shots like this. So yeah, it's night and day. The amount of detail on the knife is so much more. You can see each and every little grain to the knife, and this is really insane to look at side by side, but it's you know, this is what the R6 is capable of, and what a professional camera really excels at is preserving that detail in your shots, especially shots like this, like product photography shots and such. And the background is just so nice and blurry and creamy. And yeah, so a little bit of a fun little ending just to show you kind of the difference. But yeah, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.